Good afternoon. Welcome back to Crochet with Lulu. If I have this dazed and confused look on my face, it's because I am dazed and confused. I've tried probably 10 times today, and I don't know how many times last night to get a video. And I either ramble or I mispronounce words or I say something that makes no sense, even to anybody. It would make no sense. So I'm trying for the 4011th, as we say in the South, 4011th time to do a video. I'm hoping that this will make some sense. I wanted to show you a little treasure I found today. I have been stressing over yarn needles, and I think we've all been to that same spot in the yarn row where you need to weave in your ends and you have 1,500 yarn needles, but the one that you want is not the one you have. Well, I have cataracts, so to thread, I used to could thread a needle almost blindfolded. I've always been so patient, I could get out knots. I'm not bragging, but I mean, I never had a problem, but the last year or so, well, 2 years, I've struggled with threading a simple needle because my cataracts have gotten foggier. So I was struggling to do tutorials to try to teach people to weave in the ends, and I couldn't get the needle threaded to weave in the ends. So I was ashamed to even do tutorials on weaving in the ends. So I was looking on Amazon a few weeks ago and I couldn't find what I was looking for. Well, today I found it. I've already got them in my shopping cart and they're going to be ordered. But I was looking through some things this morning and I found this in a bag of some of my mother's things. She used to order things all the time, and this is called a 1-second needle. It threads itself, it says. Is that not the cutest thing? Now, she would order things like this because she used to mend and darn and sew buttons and all that stuff. Hem and smart. My mother was so smart. So she would buy these things for me and her to use. Well, I'd lost mine through the years. And I was thinking the other day, oh, I wish I could find that. And I found a brand new kit in that bag and I was so excited. So the thing that I found on Amazon, it has the wire at the top. It almost looks like a needle threader, but it's the wire and then the yarn goes through it. And then I guess when you're pulling it through the yarn, then I guess that collapses a little bit, maybe goes in. I have plenty of yarn needles, but I loved them, but I couldn't use them, and especially if I was in a hurry, because I was using plastic ones most of the time, and my crochet kit that my son bought me had a vial that had the needles, but even as big as some of those eyes are, I was having struggles with getting my yarn in them. And so I was using these most of the time. They're the Boyd. And see my needle threader in there? And I was struggling even threading that through. And these are wonderful, but when you're working with something like a beanie, it's hard to get it to pull through. And then when you pull it through, you've still got that little end trying to poke through. Does that make sense? So I was struggling with it. So anyways, I've got some in my shopping cart through Amazon and I'm gonna order it. My other predicament was buttons. I had ordered wooden buttons a few months ago, not thinking about, because how many of you order something and there's not specific details as to what you can and can't do with them? I do. I had ordered these from Amazon several months ago. And then I ordered some from the company Shein about 2 months ago. I wanted to have plenty because I was going into starting to do the beanies, and I wanted to have, I don't put them on every beanie. I'm not going to do that. But on certain beanies, I wanted to put them on, and I was fearful after this is for my friend. She's just gone through chemo. And I wanted a butterfly for her. I'm sorry about the darkness and the light. The camera's adjusting to the darkness, I guess, in the room and outside. But I wanted her to have a butterfly. I love butterflies. And I thought that would be so pretty to have a butterfly on there. And I put one on there, but then I got scared and nervous and I took it off because I didn't want it to, it's wooden. I don't know if the paint will chip or fade when it's washed. I don't know. And the details were not specific. It said wooden craft buttons. But I don't know why they would. I mean, I can understand you sewing it. One of the pictures that had on, like on a basket and some other things that you wouldn't wash. So I can understand that. But why don't they make them in plastic so that you can wash them? It makes no sense. So I struggled part of the day looking for buttons, and I got the idea of, we called them brooches. It's spelled BROOCH, I think, on Walmart. But my thing with that was, is it going to cause the yarn to sag and droop because you know yourself, the pins normally always stick out a little ways from the clothing and then the butterfly. So I just didn't want to do that. I had them in the shopping cart. I was going to get them, and then I talked myself out of it. I haven't crocheted much. I am working on my sun scarf. You can see in the background, I've got the yarn on the back of the couch. It's a Sugar Bee, Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel. Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel from Hobby Lobby. I love Hobby Lobby. And it's a colorway, color by number. I couldn't find any more of it the other week when I went back, but I can order it on Amazon. So I was excited of that. And I had some that would go with it, that would kind of coordinate, color coordinate to go with it. So I've got enough yarn. I just want it to be the same yarn. So I will be ordering that. And I did make this. It's a pouch that I can carry. I have a friend that comes by sometimes, and we just jump in her van with her girls, and we'll go for a late night drive just through town. So I like to keep my keys, and not every pair of pants that I have pockets. So I made this the other day, and I'm going to do a tutorial on it. It's just a simple double crochet. You just count, you measure the height all the way around, and then you measure your width. And I'm going to put buttons. I do have buttons for this. With double crochet, it's very easy to put buttons on. You don't have to make a buttonhole. Most of your crochet things, you don't really have to have a buttonhole per se if you measure your buttons correctly. And Sophie's getting excited because your double crochets separate, so you can put a button. You can put buttons on them. So I'm going to put one on each side to secure it. And I have some pretty buttons, and so I'll find me some bohemian, as I call it, buttons, and have me a boho pouch that I can just grab with my car key or my house keys. I don't have a car. My house keys and some cash and a debit card or something. So when we go out, I'm prepared. But I haven't done a lot of crocheting. I haven't done a lot. I did get to go to a birthday party Saturday. My cousins are foster parents to a little girl, and her birthday was the weekend. She turned 13, and so my other little cousin had her a party at her house, and it was so nice. She's so thoughtful. She bought a popcorn machine. She had a snow cone machine. And her husband was laughing, telling me, he said, I tried to talk her into getting a cotton candy machine. I said, we need one of those. But we really didn't. I mean, she had chili, probably 10, 12 different kinds of chips. She had veggies, veggie dip, fruit. She had a cup of pineapples, a cup of mandarin oranges, a cup of strawberries, and then she had strawberries dipped in chocolate. She had veggies and veggie dip. She had a big cheese ball, crackers, cheeses, salami, pepperoni. She had all kinds of stuff. I mean, she and the popcorn got me. When I first walked in, I had to have popcorn. I mean, as soon as I sat down, I was like, go get me some popcorn, please. And, but she is so thoughtful. She's so precious. I was seeing what Bixby was looking at. I thought, what's he looking at? He's looking out the window. But she's just so thoughtful. She thinks of other people before she thinks of herself. And she really she had such a nice, and she had a sleepover for the little girls, and they had karaoke, and they had fun, and so she's just precious. But I did get to go to that Saturday, and I had a good time. So I think that's the only time I've been out this weekend. I think so. I think I want to go to the Dollar Tree, Dollar Quarter Tree, I call it. There's a few things I'd like to look at for the porch for when it gets colder after Thanksgiving. I'll start putting up my Christmas things. And I call it my spooky tree. I have tree limbs in a vase. They're just rough looking tree limbs. We have odd shaped tree limbs in the back. And I've got fairy lights just haphazardly strung around on these tree limbs. And then I have a hoot owl. I call him Mr. Hootie Owl, that my distant cousin brought me a few weeks ago with that pretty brown vase back there with the candle in it. And she brought me 2 mannequin heads for my beanie displays. But I've got Mr. Hootie Owl sitting on the vase. It's a tall vase, and those lights, and it's cute. It's Halloweeny. It's fall-y looking. So in the winter, I have a tree that I'll set on that table and put Christmas ornaments on. Well, I don't have Christmas ornaments yet, so I do have the tree. I'm that far ahead. So I would like to get to the Dollar Tree, Dollar Quarter Tree, it should be called now, and find me some little ornaments to hang on that tree. We've got our big tree in the basement that's already decorated. It's already pre-lit and decorated. We keep it decorated all the time. And so we'll bring it up. There's Bixby's ears. They're so funny. They're restless. It's about their supper time. So they're getting restless. And he says, it's dinner time, Nanny. He says, don't forget to set mine and Sophie's dinner out. They're on part of their diet is raw food, raw dog food. And so it's refrigerated, and I have to set it out for a few minutes to let it get room temperature for both of them, and they get excited. The minute I get their bowls and head in there and grab that pouch out of the fridge, they're excited. They are excited. We have a local pet store that sells the raw food, and I'd heard about it for years, but I would have never thought that our little town would have a pet store that had those things in it. So we have that. So he knows it's time, and the neighbor's out walking their fur baby, and so he's getting excited. He said, I see him. But I just wanted to get on and say hello and let you know that I have not forgotten to do any tutorials. I actually worked up a tutorial the other day doing that pouch, but my measurements were so bad, I confused myself. I told my son, I said, you worked long enough in construction and measuring, you know how, I mean, you have no thoughts in measuring. And I shouldn't, because I've measured things for years, and I've worked in garment factories, I've worked in shipping departments, I've worked in offices. You have to measure. But no matter what I said in that video, it was wrong. It was wrong. So when I went back and listened to it, I thought, I'm so confused, and I know how to do it. If somebody didn't know how to do it, they'd never learn from that video. I don't know where my mind was at that night. So I will do a tutorial, and it will be the correct measurements. It was bad. It was bad. I've done that here lately. It's like my mind and my speech doesn't work at the same time. So I thought, no. I would be so confused, I'd turn me off and I wouldn't watch me anymore. But I don't know what was wrong with me. I knew what I was doing, and I knew what needed to be done. But what I said was totally different, and I thought, what was wrong with me? I was just having an off moment, that's all I can think of. But yes, I've had predicaments from like Thursday to today. So I've got my button situation. I've just come to terms I probably won't find the proper buttons that I wanted. So that's okay. If I can get back to Hobby Lobby, then maybe I can find some more plastic buttons that I'll be happy with, that will suffice on what I need it to. And then my coffee cup. I bought that from Walmart. I had 2 shaker cups, and I was so excited. The plastic shaker cups, like you would put the protein mixes and all that in, because I do try to take collagen, and it's a powder, and I love mixing it with my coffee. So I had shaker cups, and most of the time it was cold coffee, and you know, you have to shake it when it's cold, because collagen just will not, it just won't break down and mix unless you shake it a lot. So I had the shaker cup, and it worked fine. The first one I had worked fine, but you couldn't clean the lid properly. So I couldn't handle that. You know, the smell and knowing that it wasn't clean, I threw it away. I bought one from Walmart, and I was so excited because I thought it didn't have the handle on the top like the other one had the handle that you could actually carry it with, and I liked that. This one didn't, and I thought that's fine as long as I can shake it up and my ice and my coffee and you know, clean it. The lid I could clean fine, but it leaked. The lid leaked. So I bought this the other day, and it will keep it hot or cold. It's insulated, but it will come out the top. So that was my other predicament for the weekend and the week, is trying to, I've got a thermos in there. I have the raw steel, it's called thermos, and it's tall. It will keep ice for a couple of days. It will keep anything ice cold for a couple of days, keep anything hot for hours and hours and hours. But it's tall, and I didn't want to try to clean it out every time I put milk creamer in my coffee. So I didn't want to use it for that. I like it to have my ice in and my cold stuff. And I love ice water. And I love ice diet drinks and ice cold things. But I like my hot coffee too. And I love this thermos because, I mean, my coffee's still warm from this morning. It's not hot, but it's warm. But it just, I can't shake it. And if I do have my collagen in there, I can't keep it stirred. I would have to go to the kitchen and stir it every time, and I don't want to do that. So I've got to find something that I can use that won't leak. I was on my way to the kitchen last night to take that in there to wash it. Bless him. I love the Bixby. I love him, Nanny's boy. And Sophie's trying to get up here in Nanny's lap too and get her some loving. They're my babies. I love them so much. They're sweet babies. They're their daddy's baby, but they're Nanny's baby too. They're so precious. They're so innocent. But I was on my way to the kitchen last night to wash that. I wash it every night. Usually I soak it overnight. I wash it out and then I soak it and then I rinse it in the mornings. But I love these babies. But I dropped it and the lid popped out and the magnet fell off the top. No, the lid did not come out, excuse me. The magnet came off the top of the lid. So coffee went all over the floor, and I just mopped yesterday. So here I go with Clorox wipes and paper towels trying to clean up all the milk and the coffee off the floor. I don't like to spill coffee, period. I don't like to waste coffee. But I'm gonna get off from here. I'm rambling and they're getting restless. They need to go back outside, and then I've got laundry in the basement to do. So I just wanted to hop on and tell you I had not forgotten about a video or a tutorial or anything. I've just struggled the last few days. So anyways, you all have a good Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and have a good day tomorrow, and join me back. And please leave me comments if you know where I can get a good insulated shaker, or the plastic butterfly buttons, about an inch. I want at least an inch. I don't want them much bigger than an inch. I measured the 2 inch and that was just too big for the beanies. And they're more the brooches, whatever style anyways, and I didn't want that because I don't want the yarn to droop. You know, it'll pull, because it will pull your clothing a lot of times. If it's something that's like a t-shirt, it'll sag or droop, and you don't want that on a beanie. So, but thank you for tuning in. Join me back next time with more Crochet with Lulu and Bixby and Sophie. And we'll see what else we can get into and find. Have a good evening. Bye.